What is happening at JGamerDude here? And if this is not an example of early access going wrong, then I don't know what is. Life is Strange's double exposure, its early access of 2 weeks has been completely ruined as data miners pretty much lay out the entire game's plot on Reddit. Now, before I get into the details about the whole situation regarding Life is Strange double exposure and its 2 weeks early access launch, just wanted to say, hey, if you like my videos, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. It certainly really helps push my videos out to the rest of YouTube, and the last few videos that I've actually put out have only been pushed out to subscribers. So I'm hoping that, hey, if you're not if you have some friends who might be interested in my stuff, maybe just tell them IRL or share the videos around through various social medias, Reddit, the Twitters, the Facebooks, the whatever have you, because that would certainly be appreciated in getting sort of more people into the ecosystem of my channel. That being said, however, let's talk about Life is Strange double exposure. So, if you're not already aware, Life is Strange double exposure is a direct sequel to the original Life is Strange, because it also had a prequel by the name of Life is Strange Before the Storm. Now, the game offered an Ultimate Edition, and that Ultimate Edition gave players early access to 2 of the 5 available episodes 2 weeks early. So that's 40% of the game available 2 weeks early. And keeping in mind, this is a very story-heavy game, so naturally, spoilers are going to be all over the internet. So if people pre-ordered the game, then they would have to stay away from spoilers unless they got access to the Ultimate Edition. That being said, however, when the game came out on October 15th, everything kind of turned to dust, because it seems like data miners have managed to get the entire plot of the actual game and put it into put it onto Reddit. So that is actually kind of completely baffling, if I'm being completely honest. It's bad enough to have a very story-heavy game on early access, but then to charge enough money to the point where of your 3 possible editions, it's only behind the highest possible tier in order to try and attempt to fleece more money out of people. It's just an extremely bad look. And sure, there are people who are willing to pay that price, but are they also willing to pay the price of having the entire game ruined for them, even though they put extra money into the game? And it's clear that, hey, if you're paying, firstly, pre-ordering, I would suggest, not doing that ever. If you're ever going to buy a game, buy it at sale, at least, 20 to 30% off, minimum. Because buying games at launch are way too expensive given the price increase of titles, but also the increase in microtransactions in games, but also the increase in price of the additional editions that are being provided for these games, which is really unfortunate to see. So I can't in good conscience spend $200 of my local currency on the highest edition of, say, Assassin's Creed Shadows, for example, when I can tell you for a fact it is not going to have enough value for me. And the thing is that value is in the eye of the beholder. At the end of the day, price is the thing that is labeled on the... It's the label on the game that you have to pay in order to access it, but the value is what the player gets out of the game in which they play. Just because a game is very good doesn't mean it's necessarily worth the money that people are paying for it. And then that can obviously be skewed in a couple of different ways. Say, for example, if you're a reviewer, you're most likely getting games without having to pay for it, in which case your impressions are going to be skewed towards the idea that, hey, I didn't pay for this, so this is the way I'm going to look at it, even though you kind of need to understand the specifics on how much it costs for someone to buy it normally. But then again, it's better to go to people that you trust when it comes to reviews, and that's why I don't do reviews, because I feel like no matter what, for someone who reviews something, you're just gonna get pelted left, right, and center, and I feel like no one is gonna like you ultimately enough, and that's why I kind of cover the news, because that's easy enough to look at and criticize without not being too heavy on how someone feels in a particular way. Though I suppose I do also talk about the way in which I feel about things, and I do absolutely hate the idea of early access being paid for on any version higher than the, well, in fact, it shouldn't even be a thing at all, if I'm being completely honest. Just release the game at release date. Release date isn't the early access date that is being provided. Alright, that's just simple enough. But with all of that being said, this is an insane situation of just an idea or a plan to try and fleece more money out of people completely turning into a disaster. So with all that being said, let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments below. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel. I'm aiming for 400 subs at some point in the future. Hopefully, you know, I can get out of the sort of rut that my channel is in at the moment. But with all that being said, I do upload every day, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.